Welcome to Deep Thought, riding a connection wave. What's a connection wave? It's the connection that we have with other people. See, I'm known for talking about male-female relationships, but honestly, everything I'm talking about could be applied to relationships, period. Because even though you got some people out here, they'll call themselves lone wolves and all of that, you're still connected with people, even if you don't know them. You're making a connection. It's very, very, very difficult to be totally insulated. But understand, there's power in those relationships. There's power in having those connections. Indeed, the rich of the world have connections. In fact, wait, where's the book? Where's the book? Have a book right here. It's called Super Hubs by Sandra Navidi. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, how the financial elite and their networks rule our world. And, I usually do something like this on my business channel, right? Let me get this back in here. I usually do something on my business channel. Okay. All right. Usually do this on my business channel, but I want y'all to think about the connections that we have, not only for business, but for life. Let me use a business one for example. I'm here doing this video for you because of connections. And it started way before I got on YouTube, or even realized you could make money on YouTube. Because I remember, I had the books and everything. There was a friend of mine, in fact, she's the one on many of her music is on many of my videos for the introduction and closing. And her name's Mia Miata. Now I remember she had a post on Facebook and I answered the post with a simple comment. So she liked the comment so much, she invited me to be on her internet radio show she had with this network called the Harambe Network. And the brother who owned the network, Brother Delani, I actually met him before the writers event. I met him before, a good guy, so acquainted with him, but more acquainted with her at the time. And she wanted me to be on her show. All right, that's one connection. What I had to say on the show was so powerful. Brother Delani reached out to me and wouldn't let me get off the phone until I agreed to do a show. So for a while, I had an internet radio show. I had an internet radio show, and I always had different guests on every week. That eventually, getting started like that, eventually led me here. Because at one point, Brother Delani switched to a video format. And so I was the one who could figure out how to use it and everything, and I actually created a video for other users on that site. On how to use it, but that was really when I got into videos. So it was that connection. And then even when I was started on YouTube, through the connections I had with Obsidian, I always give credit where it's due, who promoted me a lot, and then with O'Shea Duke Jackson and also Master Teacher BGS, those connections led me even further. And so that's a financial thing. But there's also connections when we talk about our friendship networks, our romantic networks. Because let me use the romantic thing. Many people actually meet, there's all this talk about online and meeting women in the streets. But if you think about it, most people meet someone in a social setting, in a social network or a friend of a friend, something like that. You just happen to know somebody, something. And that's very important. But then just navigating everyday life. Now, riding a connection wave, you can get to just making the right connection with the right person can get you a long way. I'll never forget with this young lady, one of my earliest friends in college, but she was from a rich family. I never forget what she said too. She said, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Connections mean a lot. Because think about it, like in a business world, business world again. Most business deals aren't made in a corporate room, office or something. A lot of them are made on the golf course, in the country clubs, When I was working as an attendant slash salesperson at this particular gym, I'll never forget. I'm going in the locker room and stuff, doing my regular cleaning and all of that. And there was a financial advisor back there who could still bench press 400 pounds. He was talking with somebody else. They were just talking business. And they were back there neither one ended up working out. They basically did a business deal back in the locker room. They did a business deal. In fact, there were a lot of connections I might have made just meeting someone here and there. Like when I first came out with my books, Nice Guys and Players, and I'm doing book signings and everything. Connections, riding that connection wave. In fact, in the DC area, there was a bookstore. Some people from the DC area might remember Caribou Bookstore. It had actually 6 locations, and it had the potential to become a national chain. That's how they were set up. But it was a major thing, major bookstore in the Washington, D.C. area, black-owned bookstore. And basically, I got around a lot of technical stuff to do to get my books in the store. All I had to do was just talk to the owner. That's all I had to do was just talk to the owner. I mean, but that's a connection. Connections are very important. How we relate to different people are very important. It was a connection. Like I've talked about Master Yao and Yamache Morris, but it was actually a connection with a young lady who I had just happened to meet someplace that actually got that. She didn't bring us together directly, but created the chain of events that did bring us together. Because one of the things, the young lady, she was a producer for a DC access, cable access show, public access show back in the 90s called Love and Happiness. Now, we had met before, but then she saw me again when I was selling copies of a pamphlet called Finding a Good Man. And she got me on the show, which connected me to the producer. The producer, he did something. He had met Master Yao. So he brought Master Yao on the show. And then that's how I got familiar with his monumental book, A Mummerer. In fact, Master Yao had defended me when I was on a relationship panel, some things I had said. He defended me. That's how we met. But how did that come about? Through that connection, riding that connection. It's very important because you got to remember, we're not, no man is an island. No man or woman is an island. The connections you make just knowing somebody, networking. In fact, if you look at people who are really making money, rich, they'll go to different events just to network. In fact, business-wise, because let's be real, people want to make money, be successful. I've said I've done a lot of vending. And one of the things I did while vending, I would just talk to other vendors. They would actually hook me up with like 5 other vending events. And then no matter what, I would always do this. And there's people I know, they still vending. That's how I got the connection with them. Even some young ladies through vending. But you always made that personal connection. And I ride it. And it's brought me so much. Even my 2 great sons, that was, once again, a connection. And that's the power of it. See, when I talk about relationships, like I said, it's not just about man gets woman, but how you connecting. Even how a man's connecting with a woman, even on a business level, personal level. Because if you take an honest look at the people who are truly succeeding, they have the connections. And the people who are living a good life, period, they have the connections. And that's beyond money. That's the important thing. So I want y'all to really think about it. And riding a connection wave is just employing those connections. You don't know who can introduce you to somebody. They can introduce you to a business partner. They can introduce you to a future mate. They can introduce you to somebody who might tell you something that you just need to hear. There's so many times in my life, just knowing someone has brought me valuable information. And you just got to ride that wave, all right? So anyway, I want y'all to think on what I was talking about. And yeah, I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.